What's this? Refrigerated egg.
Yo, the thing is, okay, that's another weird thing, but we go into that in a second. The thing is, I'm not aware of this supermarket, but it's bigger than the biggest supermarket I have in my city. And this is not even a Costco or a Walmart. Do you guys understand the difference between America and Europe in general? It's actually impressive. The most baffling things about US grocery stores. My friends, I really wonder what those things are. Being honest, I have no idea. But before I go into that, let me ask you for one thing. If you can leave a like, thank you so much. Is the best way to show support. Now, if you can subscribe, well, in that case, forget about it. You make my day. Have that in consideration. Link for the original video in my description, and let's play it.
Hello, this year I have been doing a lot of videos devoted to trying American food for the first time. This video is sponsored by SimpliSafe. After all, there's no safe like SimpliSafe. And something that you don't really see in those videos is the fact that we have to go and get the ingredients from a supermarket. I have two missions on this mission.
Actually, I really wonder what supermarket Lawrence likes to go. I'm gonna guess Walmart. And a question to all of you, my friends. Here in Portugal, supermarkets do very well. Small grocery stores, they struggle a bit. Is the same in America? Because I know Walmart, Costco, all of those are huge, but I wonder if there is space for both type of businesses, if that makes sense.
Mission number 1, to pick up some of the ingredients for Maryland crab cakes, which I'll be making in my next video. And number 2, to show you some of the baffling things about American grocery stores. And just as we pull into the parking lot at Julosco, if you've not yet subscribed...
What the hell was that name? Julosky?
...to this channel, do that now.
Okay, my friends, do it for me.
In the meantime, let's go shopping.
Okay, this does not look like a supermarket. What the hell? There is flowers outside. Yo, my friends, are you guys aware of this one?
Well, first thing to notice is that you don't have to put any kind of coin in order to procure a shopping trolley, or cart as they're known here. This is something you will...
Wait, you don't need a coin to pick the cart? Oh, that's crazy, my friends. Look, if that was a thing here, you'll see a lot of those in the parking lot. I'm gonna be honest. The coin is the thing that makes people to return that. Because they don't want to lose the coin. Okay, that's crazy.
We'll see at Aldi, which is something that you see at Aldi around the world. But for the most part, American carts don't require it. In the UK, coin-operated trolleys are a bit more prevalent, with some supermarkets employing them and others not. Back in 2017,
Here, my friends, I don't even know a supermarket that you don't have to put the coin. All of them, you need the coin.
these trolleys made the news when many of them were incapable of accepting Britain's new 12-sided pound coin. You know, I was just thinking about something. When we were in Britain, we were walking around one of the superstores out there, and I noticed these stools that I had forgotten about. They used to be in all of the grocery stores in England. They still are, it seems, and you don't see them as often in American grocery stores. Perhaps it's because the shelves are slightly higher up, so the shelf stackers who use those stools in Britain, they need something a bit taller. So usually what you see in grocery stores here are things like ladders to help them get...
What? Okay, I was about to say maybe Americans are a bit more tall than the UK people. I don't see those here. Even the other thing, the stool, yeah, that's not a thing.
To those higher spaces, because as you can see, I'm a tall person. I can only just about touch that. And on the subject of size, it won't surprise anyone to learn that American supermarkets are generally bigger than their UK counterparts.
Yeah.
I found this to be especially true at Walmart, whose retail spaces are so big.
Oh my god, look at the size of this supermarket, my friends. I cannot see the end.
They're not even supermarkets, but hypermarkets.
A
hypermarket combines a supermarket with a department store, basically a one-stop shop for everything. However, it might surprise some to learn that Britain has its own hypermarkets, with the likes of Tesco Extra, usually found on the
Tesco? Okay.
outskirts of town. That said, at 70,000 square feet, even these don't stack up to those Walmart supercenters, which average about 100,000 square feet.
And people told me that there is Walmart and there is Super Walmart. I don't. I mean, I assume the difference is one is much bigger than the other, but I don't know if is really that different. You know, because a normal Walmart is already so damn big.
I have no idea how to find crab meat. I've never done this. We could just go to Baltimore. You won't normally find milk of this size showing up in Asda because we just don't have the fridge space for it. And that's
First of all, milk is not in the fridge here.
Oh, the inclusion of preservatives as well as a different pasteurization method means that American milk actually lasts longer than British milk. So Americans can justify buying it by the gallon. But what is a gallon? Because both countries have different ways of defining that. A US gallon measures in at 128 fluid ounces, while a UK gallon equates to 100.
See, my friends, this is why both British and Americans are wrong. You guys need liters, you know.
60 fluid ounces. And so you might think, ooh, Lawrence, you lied. British milk is bigger. Well, not really, because in the UK, milk is not typically sold by the gallon, but in pints and litres. The largest bottle on the market is the 6-pint bottle, which is a tad smaller than a US gallon. Even if a UK pint is 1 1/4 the size of a US pint, it's all...
See, this is the size I tend to buy.
Quite confusing. I think this will just about fit in our fridge. One thing you'll often notice in US grocery stores is the price tag. It's very inviting. It usually ends in 99. It makes you think, okay, it's 1 cent cheaper.
Yeah, that's a thing. Wait, but this is where? Oh, sorry, now I'm a bit lost. This is in America. This also happens here. They put the 99 tag just to trick you. And I don't like that.
One thing you'll often notice in US grocery stores is the price tag. It's very inviting. It usually ends in 99. Okay. It makes you think, okay, it's 1 cent cheaper than, say, $8 if it's $7.99. And that's great. So you get the thing, you put it in your cart, and you walk up to the till thinking, all right, great, we've made some good deals here. Until...
You know what? That should be illegal, my friends. Because why the hell? Because it is all over. $7.99, $8.99. I mean, come on. If it's $7.99, just put 8. Just be honest with people, because you can say, oh, but people can have their own judgment. Of course, but let's be honest. It will be so much clearer to a lot of people.
Sales tax happens. In the US, sales tax is added at the point of purchase, and after 17 years living in the country, I no longer bat an eyelid at this. But having arrived here from a country where value-added tax is included in the price tag, it did briefly make me reconsider buying a ukulele when I barely had enough money to justify it in the first place.
What?
What's this? Refrigerated egg.
Yo, the thing is, okay, that's another weird thing, but we go into that in a second. The thing is, I'm not aware of this supermarket, but it's bigger than the biggest supermarket I have in my city. And this is not even a Costco or a Walmart. Do you guys understand the difference between America and Europe in general? It's actually impressive.
In the first place.
Look at this, so damn big. Oh wow, it's massive.
What's this? Refrigerated eggs. This is not something you would see in a British store where the eggs are usually placed just on a shelf somewhere away from refrigeration. And why is that? It all comes down to both countries' attempts at preventing contamination. In the United States, the USDA mandates that eggs must be washed and sanitized before they reach the consumer.
Basically, I'm gonna be honest, my friends, most of the time when I buy eggs on the store, you can still find the poop of the chicken. Makes me believe that I'm eating something fresh.
Basically, this is to ensure that it's not covered in chicken. The European Union...
Wait, but the shell protects, right? So you don't... I mean, come on, let's all be honest.
Union, on the other hand, says that Class A eggs must not be washed, which sounds mental, right? Except the EU believes that washing eggs can do more harm than good. And there's a couple of reasons for this. When a hen lays an egg, she coats it in a cuticle in order to protect the egg against contamination once it pops out. Anyway, it's thought that washing eggs can result in the removal of this cuticle, making eggs vulnerable to pathogenic contamination. In America, the USDA requires producers to wash eggs in water with a minimum temperature of 90 degrees Fahrenheit. They are then rinsed with a special cleaning...
Sorry, do you guys find eggs looking like this disgusting? because okay, in the supermarket they don't look as this bad, but you can see marks of poop actually from time to time. Do you guys find that's disgusting? Because it's so normal to me. I know this may sound weird, but this is a big difference between America and Europe, the egg things, because I never saw eggs refrigerated. I never saw that.
Water with a minimum temperature of 90 degrees Fahrenheit. They are then rinsed with a special cleaning spray with the intention of eradicating contamination and then dried. Not drying the eggs would mean that the resulting moisture could become a breeding ground for salmonella. Additionally, using cold or dirty water in the cleaning process would cause bacteria to seep in and there'd be no extra lives for that egg. So what's this got to do with refrigeration? Well, firstly, the USDA freely admits that washing the egg can remove the cuticles, so chilling the eggs in store becomes more critical. In Britain and the EU, not so much. One thing that's often mentioned about US growth.
Now I really wonder if America has some point on this, or if Europe is doing this right. Not that matter that much, right? But it is interesting.
More critical. In Britain and the EU, not so much. One thing that's often mentioned about US grocery stores is that the cashiers, when you get to the till, are usually standing up. A lot has been made of how this is not great.
Wait, standing up? That also happens here in certain supermarkets actually, but most people are sitting on a chair.
For, your physical well-being and all of that. We're not used to this in Britain where they are sitting.
Yeah, this is very common here.
On a stool, and as somebody who has just rubbish knees, I can completely empathize. On the other hand, arguments in favor of this, usually by those that own the stores, seem to be that standing up looks more professional and that it gives the cashier more range of movement, which, as I'm demonstrating here, is obviously true, and I take back.
Okay, that point is true. The more professional, I don't know, but that point is totally true.
Back everything I said in the previous scene. But let me know in the comments what you think. Should cashiers be able to sit like they do in Europe? Or should they stand like true patriots? Of course, increasingly.
Honestly, I like them sitting. Because at the end of the day, it's a difficult job. And maybe a mix, but staying all the time can be a bit tough.
Both countries are adopting self-checkouts, and Chicago's Jewel Osco is no exception. I'm well practiced in this, and in fact, self-checkouts are, I think, amazing because you don't have to...
So when self-checkouts ended up appearing here, my friends, I was the biggest hater. I thought, oh no, I don't like this. Technology, really? No, I kind of like it because it's quite more fast.
Talk to anybody unless you're buying alcohol, but I quit alcohol and that was one of the reasons, being social. What's going on with that?
I'm not sure if this happens in America. The problem is the self-checkout, at least the machines here, you know what I say, machine, do your job. A lot of times those machines don't do the job. They send you a message saying you need to wait for assistance. And then someone comes and helps you because there was some weird problem. That's the worst thing.
No eggs. What? I used to be good at it. Yeah, that did it. We did it. That's good. Old Bay seasoning.
How many store-provided bags did you use today?
0. And of course, with Britain and America being two nations divided by a common language, you can't really talk about grocery stores without talking about some of the terminological differences. A big one, of course, as I mentioned earlier, is trolley versus shopping cart. And of course,
trolley, that sounds so... see, my friends, I speak American. I don't like English. I speak American. Cart.
Of course, when you come to pay in Britain, you go to the till.
Till? No. Oh, my friends, I'm American. That's it.
In America, it's the cash register. And one that stood out to me recently as people that don't usually go in-store, but in fact go to the curbside pickup lanes in Britain, which I'm surprised to say does have curbside pickup. It's just there. It's called Click and Collect. If you liked this video, be sure
I don't even know what the hell is that.
to watch 8 American habits that confused me as a Brit. Until the next video.
Okay, my friends, show him all the support. Great video by Lawrence. And this was interesting. I mean, a lot of things I was aware, but they still confuse me. For example, the eggs. I made a research. I want to understand if Europe is doing this better or America is into something about putting eggs on the fridge and cleaning them. The milk... So actually I did not understood that very clear. All the milk is also on the fridge in America, or there is some milk outside of the fridge? because milk is not in the fridge here. So what's the point? Maybe end up missing the explanation. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this with me, my friends. Really means a lot, and see you guys soon.